China produces nearly 1/3 of everything manufactured on Earth. Its factories output $4.85 trillion in goods annually, more than the United States and Germany combined. For 16 consecutive years, China has been the world's largest manufacturer, and the gap is not closing. This is the story of how China became the world's manufacturing hub, and why its dominance is set to grow even further. The scale is staggering. China accounts for approximately 30% of global manufacturing value added, up from just 8.5% in 2004, a rise no other country has matched in modern industrial history. In 2025, its trade surplus surpassed $1 trillion, the first country ever to cross that threshold. Total exports hit $3.77 trillion. China's output is 1.7 times that of the United States, nearly 6 times Germany, and close to 10 times India. It is the only nation on Earth with production in all 41 of the United Nations industrial categories. When the world buys manufactured goods, most of them come from China. Nowhere is China's manufacturing dominance more visible than in electric vehicles. China produces 70% of the world's EVs. BYD overtook Tesla as the global leader, delivering 2.25 million pure electric vehicles in 2025. Chinese EV makers export nearly 1 million vehicles abroad annually, surging into Europe, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East despite tariffs. CATL, the world's largest battery maker, controls 38% of the global EV battery market. 6 Chinese battery firms together command 69% of worldwide battery installations. China does not just build the cars. It builds the batteries, the motors, the software, and the charging networks. The entire value chain, from mine to highway, runs through Chinese factories. In solar energy, China's dominance approaches a monopoly. It produces over 80% of the world's solar panels, 95% of photovoltaic wafers, and 97% of anode materials. A single facility in Inner Mongolia can produce enough solar wafers to meet the entire demand of the European Union and India combined. China's cleantech exports exceeded $239 billion in 2025, half of the global total. The International Energy Agency warns that at multiple stages of the solar and battery supply chains, production outside China covers less than 1/4 of global demand. The world does not just buy Chinese solar panels, it depends on them. China also dominates battery manufacturing at every level. CATL and BYD together control more than half the global market. 98% of lithium iron phosphate battery production sits inside China. Chinese battery cells are priced 10 to 50% cheaper than alternatives made in Europe or America. By 2030, China's battery production capacity could reach 6,720 gigawatt hours, potentially exceeding total global demand. The Carnegie Endowment warns that China could produce more batteries than the world needs, giving it unmatched pricing power and the ability to flood markets and undercut every competitor. The factory of the future is being built in China, and it runs on robots. China has over 2 million operational industrial robots, 4.5 times more than Japan, the number 2. In 2024, it installed 295,000 new robots, 54% of the global total. Domestic robot makers now hold 57% of China's own market, up from 30% in 2020. The government is investing $400 billion in robotics in 2026, sharing manufacturing lines between electric vehicles and humanoid robots to slash costs. This convergence strategy has already reduced labor costs by 35% at some firms. China is not just automating, it is automating faster than any nation in history. The engine behind all of this is Made in China 2025, the industrial master plan launched a decade ago. It targeted 10 strategic sectors, from robotics and semiconductors to EVs and aerospace. The results have been dramatic. China hit its EV sales targets 4 years early. Domestic EV market share reached 91%. Chinese firms now lead globally in 5 of 13 critical technologies tracked by Bloomberg and are rapidly closing the gap in 7 others. High-tech manufacturing grew 9.4% in 2025, outpacing overall industrial growth. The next 5-year plan, covering 2026 to 2030, doubles down, targeting quantum computing, nuclear fusion, 6G, and brain-computer interfaces. Made in China 2025 was the first act. The second is just beginning. China's manufacturing power rests on 4 megaclusters that together generate 80% of the nation's exports. The Yangtze River Delta, centered on Shanghai and Suzhou, produces $1.32 trillion in exports alone, more than most entire countries. The Pearl River Delta, with Shenzhen and Guangzhou, adds $828 billion. The Bohai Rim, around Beijing and Tianjin, contributes $538 billion. And the Western Triangle, led by Chengdu and Chongqing, is the fastest growing hub. These clusters compress supply chains so tightly that a product can go from design sketch to factory floor in days, not weeks. Proximity creates speed. Speed creates cost advantage. And cost advantage creates dominance that is nearly impossible to replicate. What does the future hold? The ITIF projects China's global manufacturing share could reach 45% by 2030, while the U.S. share falls to 11%. China's R&D spending hit $496 billion in 2024, nearly matching America's. It is building 8 of the world's 19 new semiconductor fabs. Its 15th 5-year plan targets quantum computing, fusion energy, 6G, and brain-computer interfaces. The world's dependency on Chinese manufacturing is not a temporary condition. It is a structural reality, from solar wafers to EV batteries, from industrial robots to smartphone assembly. China did not become the world's factory by accident. It became the world's factory by design. And the next chapter of that design is already being built.
What does the future hold? The ITIF projects China's global manufacturing share could reach 45% by 2030, while the US share falls to 11%. China's R&D spending hit $496 billion in 2024, nearly matching America's. It is building 8 of the world's 19 new semiconductor fabs. Its 15th 5-year plan targets quantum computing, fusion energy, 6G, and brain-computer interfaces.